who mounted a podium yesterday and decided to peddle, some falsehoods, decided to spill empty threats, and then was acting as if he was, a courageous person in this country. Very, very unfortunate. I listened to him speak, and all he said was that they were men in the NPP, and they were going to do whatever it takes to retain the NPP in power. Unfortunately, I haven't heard a single youth policy from this particular youth organizer, not a single. And I've been looking forward to hear a single policy from the NPP's youth organizer. I haven't. All the youth of this country who came there were expecting to hear from him and wanted to hear what the NPP has in stock for the youth of this country. He failed to do so. He failed to share his message to the Gen Zs of this country. All he thought of doing was to teach people who were watching him live how they could use their strength and physique in maintaining power come December 7th, 2024. Really, really unfortunate, because the NDC is bent on winning the election, and we won't use a gun, we won't use a cutlass, we won't use a physique, we will use our policies. And the policies are here, called the pledge. The youth of this country will bind on to the social contract between the NDC and the youth of this country. The youth of this country will bind on to the social contract between His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the youth of this country. And the youth of this country will settle for no less a person but John Dramani Mahama, because they believe in his vision statement and they believe in what he has in stock for the youth of this country. And so we thank you all very, very much for joining this evening, and to say that let no one fall for the deception of the NPP's youth organizer. Let no one fall for the empty threats of the NPP's youth organizer. Let no one fall for the deception, misconception, and the empty promises of the NPP's national youth organizer. And let no one be deterred by statements of persons like Brian Champon, because whether they like it or not, whether they believe that the NDC will win the 2024 elections or not, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, by the grace of God and the will of the good people of this country, will be the next president of the Republic of Ghana, inshallah, come 7th December 2024. And so I once said that Brian Champon was beating war drums. I remember some time back, and when he attempted to take our hotels, after a little push from the youth of this country, he handed over our hotels. And when I mounted the podium, I said we scared him, we deterred him a little bit. He left the hotels of this country. I am reliably informed that he's transported his family to the US because he believes that, they can no longer stay in this country. And I heard that he had sent all his family members, many of people in his nuclear family, out of this country. The latest Lamborghini he bought, I've been reliably informed that he's finding a safe haven to park it, because he's deterred by the retaliation of the NDC. And we can confidently tell him on any day that Brian Champon or whoever has been beating war drums do not have the moral tenacity to hold on to power, and they will be the first people to hand over power when John Dramani Mahama wins the 2024 election. So the question here is, what does the NDC have in stock for the youth of this country? One is the 1 million coders program for 1 million youth of this country. The NDC in its manifesto shall implement a coders program for 1 million youth in this country. What John Mahama seeks to do is to train youth in ICT, is to bring 1 million youth together and equip them with the IT know-how of how we could make money and create employment on our internet space. You go abroad and many people make money from the internet space. There are people who sit at home and work online, all because they've been well equipped into knowing the do's and don'ts and the know-how of how the IT system works in the entire wide world. And that was the reason why President Mahama built, the national, technology center. That was the reason why President Mahama commissioned NITA. That was the reason why President Mahama set up the National Information Center together with the NIA. This was meant to boost our technical know-how, especially the technical know-how of the youth of this country. And for the young people out there who are interested in IT jobs in this country, who are interested in understanding IT in this country, who are interested in building their their know-how in the IT space, John Dramani Mahama is the president you need. And is the president who would well equip you into understanding the corridors of the IT system and in building your capacity so long as the IT corridor is concerned. And that has been clearly stated in the 1 million coders program under ICT for the youth. My brothers and sisters who shall be going to school next year, President Mahama has good news for you. You will not pay school fees. You will not pay school fees. And I've listened to many NPP persons attempting to misconstrue the policy of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama into meaning different things. A very simple example I cite is that if you wake up in the morning and your son or your daughter comes to you and says, "Daddy, I need to go to school. School shall reopen next week, but I need school fees." That school fees your child usually requests for is what President Mahama says you will no longer pay that. And so next year, inshallah, by this time, if your daughter should come to you as a parent and says, "Dad, I shall be going to school, I need school fees," tell that child that President Mahama has paid your school fees already. That should be the response to your son or your daughter. And so whether it consumes your academic fees, whether it consumes your tuition fees, whether it consumes your feeding fees, whatever you call school fees, is what President Mahama says you will no longer pay school fees. Let's put our hands together for President Mahama. This is a man who believes in the youth. This is a man who has a vision of the youth of this country. And this is a man who feels that the first step in being privileged to be called a tertiary student in this country is by getting access to tertiary education at year 1. And there are many people out there who after the completion of senior high school cannot make it to tertiary institutions. Many of them fall out because they cannot even get year 1 fees to go into tertiary institution. But President Mahama says no. He instituted what we call the student loan trust fund. But you cannot qualify for the student loan trust fund unless you are a student in any of the tertiary institutions. And what makes you a student? By paying your admission fee, which is your fee for year 1, and then enrolling in class or enrolling in the educational institution. So even before you qualify for the student loan trust fund, you will have to, you would have to gain admission to the tertiary institutions. And that admission you will be gaining, you can only gain that if your admission fees or your year 1 fees have been paid in full by President John Dramani Mahama. And so my brothers and sisters, next year, tertiary education for level 100s shall be free. If you have a brother who is in Form 3 now, if you have a brother who is in Form 2, if you have a brother who is in SHS 1, tell that person that President Mahama has catered or will cater for his year 1 fees next year by this time. And if that person should enroll in tertiary education, you will not need to pay any form of tertiary education. Good news for the youth of this country, and we are proud of President Mahama. That is number 2 of President Mahama's pledge for the youth of this country. Number 3, jobs, jobs, jobs. Many youth out there, especially the Gen Zs like myself, the last time I witnessed the minister tell me, "Malik, I was unemployed." I said, yes, I am unemployed, but I'm unemployed because the jobs that were meant for me and you, the youth out there, a very cruel, a very insensitive, a very wicked president and his vice president have shared all those jobs to their family members. And all those people are surviving on the jobs that were meant for you and I, because the youth of this country stood in a queue to vote and elect a president, thinking that that president will share the national cake to the benefit of every household in this country. Little did we know that President Akufo-Addo and his Vice President Alhaji Bawumia, a very incompetent one, were going to misconstrue and siphon and misappropriate the jobs that were meant for you and I to their family members. Weeks ago, I was given a tall list of President Akufo-Addo's family that have been employed. Look, his secretary, Nana Santi Bedietu, his father is an appointee. His mother is an appointee. His sister is an appointee. His brother is an appointee. His girlfriend is an appointee. His wife is an appointee. So how can the Gen Zs and the youth of this country get jobs to do? They have siphoned the jobs that were meant for you and I. They have misappropriated the funds that were supposed to be used to create jobs for you and I, and they have employed and recruited only their family members. Just when we thought the family and friends had ended at the doorsteps of Akufo-Addo, his vice, Alhaji Bawumia, who copies his boss than any other person in this country, decided to also start appointing his family members. Little did we know, and I've seen in the comment section people said, Malik once said, little did we know. Indeed, little did we know that Bawumia had appointed his biological sister Laraba as the NDA boss at the time, that was under their first term. Under her tenure, 400 Abobo Yas got missing. They decided to siphon our Abobo Yas that were meant for the people of this country. They decided to take it to their family house and they shared it. When she was caught and exposed, she told us she didn't know the whereabouts of the Abobo Ya. Till date, more than 400 Abobo Yas have not been accounted for. That same woman was further appointed and in fact upgraded into becoming a gender minister in this country. A woman who misappropriated our funds in this country. A woman who saw to the misappropriation of 400 motokin Aboboya in this country was called to the table and said, you have done well. Your thievery and your corruption is legendary. And indeed, you will be rewarded for it. She was rewarded by being made a gender minister in this country. If this is not a whole cruel entity of corruption, then what else will it be? The jobs that were meant for you and I, Bawumia, who didn't finish paying the dowry of his wife Samira, decided to complete the dowry by appointing Samira's father as ambassador to Saudi Arabia and appointing Samira's brother Abu Ramadan as deputy Nadmo boss. In completion of the dowry he was supposed to pay when he took Samira Bawumia to his house. So the jobs that you and I would have gotten, they have given it to their only family members. Another job we would have gotten was supposed to work at the Interior Ministry. Bawumia gave it to his own brother, Mumuni Bawumia. Go to the Interior Ministry and you will see Bawumia's brother, Mumuni Bawumia, there, live and colored, working. A job that you would have benefited, I would have benefited. Alhaji Bawumia, with a very wicked and insensitive mentality, decided to give it to his own brother. So Bawumia's in-law is appointed. His brother-in-law is appointed. He, Bawumia himself, is a vice president. His brother Mumuni Bawumia is appointed. And they have misappropriated our funds. As if that was not enough. Little did we know, and again Malik once said, that Bawumia will award a contract that he should have given to contractors in this country to his own brother Abraham Bawumia. This Abraham boy went and married a white woman and brought her into this country only to come and misappropriate our funds. He, together with this white woman, created a group and they decided to siphon contracts that were supposed to be given to contractors to themselves. They awarded and inflated road contracts in this country, including the renovation of the Sunyani Airport. They took it to themselves, family and friends, bloated the contract. The contract didn't go through the due process. It was sole sourced against the laws of this country. And Bawumia's brother got the contract from Bawumia. And today, they have even abandoned the project they were supposed to do. The people of Teshi, your roads have not been developed because a contract was awarded to Bawumia's brother and he has decided not to come and work there. And nobody can hold him responsible because his brother is the vice president of this republic. Youth of this country, President Mahama says, the era of family and friends, the era of greed and misappropriation of funds, the era where presidents and vice presidents and ministers will award contracts to themselves. And I've seen in the comment section people asking about my brother Chinia. The last time I heard from Chinia, he was hot. And my prayer is that he will not leave this country before the 7th of December 2024, because some of those people cannot escape jail in any way. They have been prosecuted, their dockets have been prepared, and I have already written over 67 charges against that man. And they will not survive it, because he is part of the people who have turned a whole national cake to a family cake, awarded contracts to themselves, and they have siphoned and squeezed our mega resources. His own constituency to move, he's abandoned the road, and then, in fact, monies that were given to him to even do it, he's misappropriated the funds, and they have chopped the monies. Fertilizers that were given to him to give to his farmers, little did we know that he was exporting the fertilizer on the backs of donkeys. So they were using the bush on donkey carts, and they would take the fertilizer to Burkina and sell the fertilizer. Last week, I was told some of the fertilizer was being brought back. And the only reason why the fertilizer was being brought back was simply because the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, has said he does not need fertilizer from Ghana for his people. They can produce their fertilizer. So the fertilizer they smuggle on donkey backs should be brought back to Ghana. All the donkeys that were on their way to Burkina were turned back. And I'm told that they have started sharing the fertilizer small. When we come, we will ask all the donkeys to show us where they ever took fertilizer to. And we will put the fertilizer on their backs, and they will bring the fertilizer back. I'm giving a history to this to let you understand the kind of wickedness this Akufo-Addo Bawumia government have plunged us into. And to tell you that if you are unemployed, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't feel that you are unemployed because you are not competent, you are not effective, or God doesn't love you. No, God loves you. You are competent, my fellow Gen Z. You are highly capable of working, but the only problem we have caused to ourselves is by electing a stone-headed, a stone-hearted, a wicked, a cruel president and vice president in person of Alhaji Bawumia, who have decided not to turn their backs and look at we the Gen Zs of this country. So don't be too hard on yourself. Better days are coming. The youth of this country should prepare for jobs. And how are we going to create those jobs? I come to the policy. President Mahama says, for 67 years in this country, anybody who has opened a company have opened the company in an 8-hour space. All companies that have been brought into this country have come to work within an 8-hour space. I mean, it is preposterous that we keep opening new companies within same space and expect to declare profits. We cannot, because everybody works within same time. And if you want to confirm that our working space, it's, parallel or simultaneous within same space time, look at the traffic situation in town. In the morning, there's traffic going. In the evening, there's traffic coming. That confirms that in the morning, everybody is going to work within 8 hours. In the evening, everybody has closed within 8 hours. And that has not been effective. We want to emulate developing countries. So what did President Mahama say? John Dramani Mahama said that, no, we must learn something new. And that new thing we must learn is Formula 133. Same jobs that have been working must have 3 people working at a 3-shift system. What did he do? He met industry through the TUC, Trade Unions Congress, and then organized labor and all importers and exporters. And after meeting them, he said, look, my brothers and sisters, we must find a way of recruiting the youth of this country. What do you think we can do? How do you think we can work outside the 8-hour period? TUC said, sir, we appreciate your concerns, but there are things we cannot do for ourselves. Like reducing taxes, we cannot do for ourselves. Reducing electricity tariffs, we cannot do for ourselves. Providing security, yes, we can provide private security, but it comes at our expense, and we don't have money to do that. If you are willing to meet us halfway, we will run at a 3-shift system. Indeed, every company wishes to produce more goods. Every company needs to sell more goods. Every company wishes to export their goods. But the challenge they have been faced with are, like I said, high taxes, high electricity costs, and then fear of attack in the night due to low security. John Dramani Mahama, the visionary president, said, I will meet you halfway. When I become president, I'll reduce your electricity tariffs. I'll reduce your taxes. and I'll provide enough security. If these are the three things you need to work at a three-shift system, I have done it before. I have history of providing incentives to factories. When I was in power, over 45 million was given to pharmaceutical companies like Tobinco and the likes. The Kumasi Jute factory was given support to come back to life. The Commander Sugar factory was revamped with money I had brought back to life. And all these people, were meant to boost the productivity of the country at the time. So I have done it before, and I'll do it again. So what I'll do for you companies is, like I said, I'll reduce your tax incentives. I'll reduce your electricity tariffs by introducing what I call a time of use tariff for people who will be consuming electricity in the night, and I'll provide enough security for you. When I do that, you would also pay me back with a favor. You will now run at a three-shift system, 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, and you recruit more youth to work in your companies, so that I meet you halfway, you meet me halfway, and then we resolve the issue of unemployment. Then one of the people asked President Mahama, I said, yes, we agree to what you have said, but there's one more thing we want. Tell us how the demand will be created. Then President Mahama says, as for demand, my aim is to even go beyond the shores of Ghana into West Africa, go beyond West Africa into Africa, and go beyond Africa into the world. And by doing so, what I can do to foster that is to ensure that we leverage on an export-led corridor. What do? All the goods you produce through the free zones, we will give you incentives for you to be able to export your commodities. So the free zones will go out there, create a lot of space for the demand in international markets, create the avenue for you businesses to export your products, and then after you have satisfied the local demand, we'll be able to take our commodities out there. The last time I asked myself, it is a shame that for 67 years we've been drinking Don Simon in this country. Don Simon has been brought from Spain. Why is it that we never go on the streets of the United States or UK and find Calipo on their streets? We produce commodities locally. Why is it that I can't walk on the streets of Dubai and find people selling commodities of Ghanaian made there? You go to China, and one of the good or highly used chocolates there is chocolate from Ghana. Anywhere a Chinese man sees Ghanaian chocolate, he endeavors to buy it because he knows it is the best, and he knows that is chocolate that he needs to survive. And like I said, we could also leverage on that same export corridor in taking so many other things out of the country. So President Mahama says we will meet the local demand. If the local demand is exhausted, would boost our export-led corridor, and the government would assist local companies produce and then export to other neighboring countries. Then somebody asked President Mahama, okay, we would build the export-led corridor, but where are you going to get the money to support us? President Mahama says, in 2023 alone, government allocated 2 billion to the presidency. That 2 billion was used to fuel a car that carries the president's check wherever he goes. That 2 billion that was given to them, part of it was used to fuel a Land Cruiser that carries Samira Baumia's makeup. That 2 billion that was given to them, part of it was used to fuel private jets that President Akufo-Addo used to go and watch a UEFA Champions League match in Madrid. That 2 billion was used in doing many things in this country. And I have said that a lot of the things that have been the wastage in the economy would be cut short. President Mahama says, first of all, he will cut down his ministers. And by cutting down the number of ministers, would save monies that were supposed to be used to pay about 40 ministers to do other things. And the monies that were supposed to be used to pay about 40 ministers, we will cut it down, and then we will be able to pay a lot of people that are being used. I hope the live feed is okay. Okay. I understood we had a little technical challenges. So we'll cut down on government expenditure. We'll cut down on wasteful expenditure. President Mahama says he will sit in his hall and watch a UEFA Champions League Cup finals. He doesn't need to fly a private jet to Madrid. President Mama says he doesn't need a chair and a Land Cruiser to be traveling around the country. When he comes to your house, any chair you give him, he will sit on it. President Mama says his wife, Mama Lodina, does not need a whole car to be carrying her makeup box. When they do the makeup in the house for her, she's comfortable. She can go everywhere. Cutting down on that wasteful expenditure, including reducing the number of presidential staffers from 1,600 to just 400 or 600 presidential staffers he used to do, will reduce the money that was sent to Office of Government Machinery from the 2 billion to 400 million. When that is done, we would save over 1.6 billion. And that 1.6 billion, only 600 million of it can be used to cater for the tax incentives for all these companies. 1 billion of it that is left, part of it will be used to pay for the free education for the first year tertiary students, and the remaining money will be used to develop the economy of this country. Fantastic idea from President Mahama, and I think that the issue of a 24-hour economy will be settled today, and all the youth will know that President Mahama intends creating about 2.5 million jobs for the youth of this country. You would be employed. I, Malik Basintale, for the first time will also be employed, and the jobs that were meant for us, that were given to for those family members, will be given back to us for we the youth to do in this country. There are people who desire to even do 2 jobs in this country. These days, there's something I call street language, and we call it pakpapa employment. My fellow youth, pakpapa employment are you people who have been employed, yet the salary they pay you, it finishes 1 week after you collect the salary. In fact, I was told yesterday that some of you even take quick loan to the extent, and if it is true, let me see it in the comment section. So they say some of you take quick loan, and when the salary comes, you just take the salary and you pay for the quick loan. I don't know how true that is. So before you collect the salary, you have taken loan and you have to use the salary to pay for it. Oh, I've seen somebody saying it's true. It means that it's true. The money will finish before you even collect the salary. That is what we call pakpapa employment. The last time somebody warned me that anytime I want to send money to him or her, I should ask which number. Because if I make a mistake and send the money into the person's number, I would have to pay double. And then I don't know, I mean, fellow youth, let me see in the comment section. If somebody says I owe 490 cedis. I don't know how true that is. They said these days you have to ask which number you should send the money to before you send money, or else you end up paying twice. That is the crisis we find ourselves in. So President Mama says, these days you check people's status. You find somebody who is working, yet that person will take, that person, you go to the person's WhatsApp status, and the person is selling watches, the person is selling shoes, the person is selling dresses, the person is a banker sitting in the bank, yet every 2 minutes the person is talking to delivery guy. What the name call? Because the person has to do 2 jobs to survive in this country. And it is worrying that if you don't do other things for yourself, as for your own main job, the salary will not do anything for you. It simply tells you and I that we need a 24-hour economy where you could work your first shift, even work a second shift, take 2 salaries, and you'll be able to survive for yourself. The last time I used this selling things on status as an example, one of my friends said, if I'm talking to her, I should just tell her straight, because she's a worker. Yet every day you see status. She's selling watches, she's selling brazier, she's selling this. And I said, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to 1.8 million plus youth in this country, because all of us are going through the same things, and all of us know what it is. I've seen in the comment section people asking that I speak Cree. I will speak Cree. I just want to brief a lot of the things in English. Then I'll do a little bit of Cree for you all to understand. The 4th policy that President Mama intends doing, the 4th policy for the youth, is the National Apprenticeship Program. The unemployed youth in this country. There are many youth who have not been to school. There are many people who continue to go into hairdressing jobs, who continue to go into mechanic jobs, who continue to learn carpentry, who continue to learn masonry, who continue to become welders. And we need all these people in the economy. A doctor cannot build a house for himself. He needs a mason. A lawyer cannot work on wood for himself. He needs a carpenter. A carpenter too, when he's sick, he needs a doctor. That same carpenter, when he wants to save in the bank, he needs a banker. So when you think of the formal sector, you must also consider the informal sector. And every now and then we have people who cannot even go and learn these jobs because the informal sector have been so polarized to the extent that people don't even have money to go and learn some of these things. My fellow youth, President Mahama says those things will be a thing of the past. Auto mechanics, carpenters, mason, anybody who would want to go and learn a trade from next year, the person's fund will be catered for. So we are setting up cooperatives. All the informal sector will be put into one cooperative. And then anything that you need to ensure that people come and train or work under you as a boss or madam, you only need to register and the funds will be given to you to cater for all these things. I think that if these things are done, it will be good for us. The youth of this country will get jobs and the informal sector will be satisfied. On the launch of the Youth Manifesto, you saw a young madam who was telling you that they go through a lot of crises. Sometimes they even pick people with no money. And when they even finish whatever trade they have learned, they cannot even get money to even set up their companies or their own businesses. It is sad that we still thrive in such an economy where young people who learn how to sew, young people who learn welding, young people who learn carpentry, young people who learn fashion designing, young people who learn makeup cannot even get startup capital to start their own businesses. President Mahama said those things will be a thing of the past and will create support for all the young apprentices who would be learning and also support the masters to be able to teach them the trade well. And when they graduate, we'll provide startup capitals for them to survive in their trades. Another fantastic youthful policy for the informal sector, like President Mahama has been saying, is the retirement package for all these workers in the informal sector. And President Mahama tends to call it Moniyo. Moniyo simply means, I think, thank you. My tree is not very good, but Moniyo means thank you. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, we thank you. President Mahama wants to thank you, people in the informal sector. And this one, Mameka Tree Kakra. President Mahama said, Professor Damase, Mom, we Juma hairdresser, Mom, we a tailor Juma, Mom, we welder Juma, Mom, who's a mechanic Juma, Mom, just a Juma be a warrior, Eka informal sector. No. President Mahama said, wow, we say Juma no could be a beer, so we are driving you. We are Juma no call retirement. Most often than not, Obia ni wo bet yauka. Nti ube wo Obia wa ye tele Juma for 50 years, Obia ye tele Juma for 40 years. Ede obe wie ja tele Juma no, sa dana na kom be hya ase se ede no. Ena me se onye Juma ni nye biom, Obia so ni ho obe hwe no. President Mahama said, sa category of informal people no, mo da na koma so pa. Mo ye nkrofo a ono so pese of hwe kwan a obefa so ede aboa mo. Into what obey say Jumani Biano, Ube Viena, just a war call retirement, Ebia, O Pamadier, Ebia, O ye world Juma, Ebia, O ye tele Juma, Ebia, O ye fashion designer. That's the way Jumana be call retirement out. President Mahama said also Obesha see edge or retirement package. Into wo ye Jumano, Sikaka kra wunya anka wode to susuno, abansu dibi be kasa sika no ho. Na se wo to susuna na be do 10,000 a aban no so be fa sika e de aka ho de aboa na wonye se sika ni wi a ube wie na wo call retirement a President Mahama say bosumi bia every month ye be sika ni bi na etua wo ka enti mo a e bia mo ne omo na mo ye teacher fo omo na mo ye doctor fo se mo te bomu a etoda omo mo de bon kokra call retirement no obeti at the end of the month obeka cho so me ko bank ko isika etoda wotimi bisa wo ho se anawe so onye edwuma bia nti aba ne sen na bosumi bia okọ bank ekoyi na ketua sa system no ehhehye ya omowo ede ma the formal sector so we edwuma na wo call retirement a ye betua wo kakra ekopem da nyame be frɛ nti President Mahama pese reflect the informal sector so nti informal sector no wa we edwuma kakra no wo be call retirement a ye be pesika kakra nti at the end of the month also we tailor ni also we driver ni also we hairdresser ni also we makeup artist also we in any sector of the informal sector so we carpenter so we mason o call retirement President Mahama be pesika kakra na ye de boa ekopem da nyame betonsa afro umpe we a wopede. This is a fantastic policy for the youth of this country. Indeed, I will take a little break here. Let me accept a few people to come and run commentary. That is the guest, right? So let me tap the guests. Benji, so I accept Same. Yes, so let me thank my gifters. I've been told I have a lot of gifters here. So many gifters. The likes are over 282,000 likes. And fantastic. Thank you very much to my gifters. I really, really appreciate it. I think my team will tell me what the gifts really mean. I really don't know what the gifts mean, but they will tell me in due course. And then I'll understand. So I would accept a few. Lady May, I want it to be balanced. Please mute when you are accepted. When I want you to talk, I'll accept you. Dr. Mwako, let me accept you to my comeback. Let me accept. Please, let's be brief when I allow you to talk. You ask a few questions. I'm randomly picking. I just want people. If you think you want to insult me, my big head, whatever, no problem. I mean, it's a free space. We're interacting with the youth, and everybody's opinion, I mean, actually matters. I've seen boss check. Let me allow you boss check. It's okay. I want a balanced one. I don't want, please, die hard. I mean, known NDC people, please. I won't really accept you now. Your time will come. We'll let you also come and fire. But for now, let me accept neutrals. Okay. So, okay, that's okay. So how many people accepted now? 4 guests, right? 4 guests accepted. Let me add 1. 4 guests. 1, 2, or 3. Oh, the acceptor is shaking. Why? I've accepted Same again. Sameba, okay. Why is it shaking? Okay. Please mute when I add you. Let me add Zainab account. Okay. Let me add a few people so we could engage more. I want youthful policies, please. Let's discuss the youth. What do you think about John Mohammed's policies? What do you think? Okay, so Zainab, let me hear from you, Zainab, first. Zainab, if you can hear me.
I can hear you very well.
Very good. So what do you think about John Mohammed's policies? What advice do you have for the youth? If you think my head is big, you can insult me.
It's a very fantastic policy, I should say. In fact, today myself and my team, we were at the Dome Market to campaign.
Yes.
And it was marvelous. The response was so good. Fantastic. In fact, my team members, if you are on this platform, if you are on this live with me, they will attest to the fact that it was massive. The response was very good. And when we touched on the free entry, the free tertiary entry for first years, the response was very good. The market women were happy because they have so many kids. They have children who have completed SHS. They are home. They can't go to school. So hearing this policy, it was a dream come true for them. And as for the Women's Bank, I don't even want to go there. Yes. They have accepted it. Yes. They are happy about it. Fantastic. And they are going to vote massively for the NDC come December 7th. This I can assure everybody.
Is a nation builder. You think it's a nation builder?
He is a nation builder. In fact, we know him as the nation builder, and we know Yanom. If I say Yanom, I know you. Everybody knows where the party I'm talking about.
That's right.
They are the nation wreckers. Nation wreckers, NPP, nation builder, NDC. Everybody knows.
Thank you.
Come 7th December, I'm using this platform to plead with everybody. Please, let's vote massively. Let's vote as much as we can. Let's go to the polls in our numbers and vote. Just to assure NDC a very big victory. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Zainab. Thank you very much. Samiba, are you here? Samiba, are you here? Can you hear me, Samiba?
I'm here.
All right. So what do you have to say about everything we've discussed so far? What do you think about President Mahama? Does he have the youth at heart?
Okay, Honorable Malik, I would like to go to the Kumasi local language. since
very good. So speak tree, yanka tree kakra, yanka tree. That's a fantastic one, Sammy.
Mami make tree. Said I bear so I'm phone into any band my phone into. Mami catch.
Yeah, me Malik Basintale in the country.
Aha, Malik it. Mami catch you know. You see, youth na what Ghana I say no. Ubekaya adansi asukwa MP. Katie Hammond, the current trade minister, Ekache say the youth in this country are very lazy, we are useless, ye nimdi ede abrabo eye. You see, recently, commented free regional minister, Ashanti regional minister, Simon Osemensa, or say the youth in this country, your first time who share our country nimu. Now, Jesus Christ, okay,
you know, we can hear you.
Current Ashanti regional minister, Simon Osemensa, or say youth know your first time who share our country nimu. Now ye nimdi ye beti ede abrabo ya, ye kwani konkoton koke. You see, all this verse from the NPP, Akufo-Addo has said it, but Umia has said.
Very good. Tami yetie, am I yanum phone corrupting network no? Okay, let's put a hold to Savior. Can you hear me, Savior?
Yeah, Mr. Malik, I can hear you.
All right. So what do you think? What do you think of President Mama?
Mr. Malik, it has been a fantastic. Mr. Malik, you know, I'm very happy and I really appreciate President Mahama for what he has done for Ghana as a country. But unim adiaba kwa manage of President Mahama, the policies are adiaba pa ne 1 million youths now ye call into code, you know.
Yeah.
Because you know we are on a digital world now.
Fantastic.
John Dramani Mahama will see a digital center That's the backbone of Ghana digitized economy.
That's right.
Through the introduction of these fiber optic cables from Accra to whole any northern region.
Fantastic.
And the 300-kilometer radius fiber. President Mahama
What being? Nande Mahama debate about me.
Oh, I can debate Baumia at all costs on I will stand for NDC in case to debate Baumia on only digitization. I can do that. Because you know why? Meaning here pass about digitization now. We don't just talk about introducing applications. It's about building the digital infrastructure. These applications not ever rely on. President John Dramani Mahama, yes, I didn't want now or launching the first public Wi-Fi service our terminal station, any airport terminal 2. That's how we started digitization.
Fantastic.
About this limited network, a 4G network I use here. President John Dramani Mahama using in Amaya. It's a doubt. I don't know why NPP 40 million. Now, I'm linking Baumia to digitization. Now, Mr. Malik, let's ask ourselves. We have 119 fiber optic stations. That is the 4G fiber optic station. That's
right.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama,
fantastic.
The 3 rack space 360 or 3,600 rack space database center. I the biggest database center in West Africa. President Mahama,
fantastic.
The backup data back to I have the 45 rack space database okay at the UST. I have President Mahama here.
Yes.
So why do young people always link digitization to Baumia? And no, I have here. So I like this policy. This particular 1 million youth going into code, you know.
Fantastic.
I'm a building the economy, you know. Now I'm a young. Now, Mr. Malik, you know, NPP talk about paperless port.
Yes.
West Blue, with any airport or West Blue, I would terminate of contract in 2020. What was your work? But I don't know providing IT services.
That's right.
Well, I don't know providing IT services. So West Blue, from 2015 to 2020, now we're providing IT services.
That's right.
Then we'll now come back and talk about paperless port.
Fantastic.
Why then? These are the questions. And this is share NPP for me almost answer where you are. And you know for sure, Obia before Ashanti region, Obia me fancy Western.
That's right.
Farming center for President John Dramani Mahama Debano work with you.
Fantastic. Sebia, solid one. What be? Mami Sanfo bi kakra. Then I come back to Pendrim TV. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
Pendrim TV, Pato, share with us. What do you think?
Bass. If I don't take TV, so now say, and I radio, so now all fire. Let me can say bass. I say bass in good. I think that and then many Japan say, and someone they be an American, my platform so say. I feel that NDC for and penny for.
That's right.
I say not yet the social media, agro, because I know the number of people are almost for information from the social media.
3,333K likes.
You see, I mean, okay, say you pay 1,000 plus. You pay 1,000 plus. They did not show
eyeball, yes. And we have 333K likes so far.
I record the cross our corner. Absolutely. And you know, I feel that what starting my money and kahon and you know penny and casa na baby on campaign but bush honum to come they should broadcast it like fan to air na amount aha sana be boy ti me bo abasopa nyame
shira opa na eduma kese a we dey be am share on YouTube and all other social media platforms. It's go follow Pendrim TV. Very fantastic. Right. Doing a lot for this country. Lady May, are you here?
I am here. I am so glad to be here. Thank you. I am so you are so fantastic.
Thank you.
Just say you bombastic the whole floor. I'm telling you. Wait, listen, I am so glad. I'm joining you all the way from Canada.
Wow.
And with the excitement and also the initiatives me who say NDC eteki. I mean, we've had some worries about NDC not blowing their horns. NDC blow their horns. My sister say Mahama Sebi or Tankra me so video. Sebi Mahama cough me so me video. O share Canada Ghana say me for example me for so many reasons because NDC for no say come dictate what a man takes as an importance of what their lives are supposed to be, because so far if you look at TikToker, many of MPPs they are speaking just because somebody is paying them, and it's rather unfortunate. It's say Canada hampo Ghana for threatening and Kurampono. We are yensika neko, but when it comes to personally being there now, we know say Ghana yare biabaho sa yare no ye friend Ekufu's yare Ekufu's skin syndrome. The syndrome is that when you're hungry you take anything. So baumia kodu baby na o make promises. I love the fact that NDC has opened up and also allow young people like yourself. Allowed young people like yourselves, young people like Sami Jemfi, one man battalion, Charlie, one man battalion to fight the big fight. It's rather unfortunate. Nyame pray ne say engage every area in NDC, engage every area in NDC. In fact, do not leave any stone unturned. You are a young man.
Thank you.
Influence the young the old people, influence the young ones, and so to engage every area, every stone, every air, the sand, to make sure say Ghana is being advocated for. And I love your vibe. In fact, me sure was 3 times, and I stand here with the Canadian crew. To say, we support you, we acknowledge your presence with Sami Jemfi, and we need 100 people like yourselves to make sure say Ghana for any ebuye. Nyame nhyira. Say Ghana.
Lady May, we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
With your contribution. Honest man, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Director.
Right, please share with us. What do you think?
Yeah, I really appreciate you all the time because you are opening our eyes. Me can't doubt. Like me, joy be as a me show, joy be a minyano. Because me they make catch your plane during Kufuor time. I me NPP ni because I was in school then. But now me politics for school mudebia. But after school me mechanics is here. Me fan say kaswa mechanics ni na me head CC as group no. Yeah.
Congratulations.
But I can tell you say with this luxurious cars na CC one is CC no. When say those who were selling those parts this time around cannot even import the things to our country again because of where hunting.
Wow.
Like me fan CC me Land Cruiser bet is 5 me here fuse board keke.
Wow.
Mint me nyabi. Upon
Please,
all the costs
that's very important to me. So that you know this is a real economy.
Yeah. Me here, your friend is saying that fixed board nikeko. Edumani ye da brand me. Anka me ya ibiti America. By my party 15 cars, me nyane parts. By first at NDC time. It's easy for me to get those parts.
Wow.
You understand? By now, no, because of cost of winning tea, Obian peso baby, now no, those who were selling those things, now momoton plastic rabbits.
Wow.
You understand? Yeah, the Juma bremio. By minya Juma the head and the America.
Yes.
You understand?
Wow.
Me share a kufu to buy a new my catch and then the echo to na. That means they are in to fraud us.
Yeah.
And me no me whom be say a friend is saying that was that 2016 2017 na me ye campaign ma MPP. Because why in Symbiom catch anyway we were thinking but now no I always remember what Mahama says at that time.
Yeah.
He will let this thing to judge or not anyway.
Authority will judge him.
You understand? And then we are seeing it now.
Yeah.
You understand? Makes him holy.
Yeah.
Like Ankaba could be crambrem de usampa de omoka we de okre. Na mo amomo se mo ba be ye adwuma ma ye ho ato en ni na mo fum Ghana japade yi. Sisi me ye adwuma John Mahama time me start de ma me join mechanic ni say after school me nye adwuma ye okay but me mechanic adwuma no so I switch in those things but Mahama time me okay Mahama time ne ma metimi nya bia metimi di me tutu sisi but I'm telling you sisi en ne ma nko adwuma bet say past 3 months ne me nko adwuma en say me ni adwuma o by me nya parts nti I o me prepare say metima ko the neighbors countries no na ma ko fa part ne dia ba micro na metim dia be ka no. By Mahamata mentu kwa anko Nigeria da Mahamata mentu kwa anko Togo anko top part and me fix a car. So what are you telling me? Sisi ano wo si okay obi anyere ne ho nya adwuma me try say menya government work menya bi me ye me mechanic work by those importers need me importing your money dim.
Yeah.
That me now me ye this work ni metima be way. So if Mahama is coming for everybody like the way or they be oka bibiana or to me try so bet my more than 50% of the West now.
Yeah.
Then he's the best because Mahama only 4 years as the time as president no onunya 4 years by the word be oka biano or to me more than 50%.
I agree.
But obienya 8 years or 8 years sorry but the oka don't mean 30%. Now economics messiah are turning into another thing. You understand? Now he's telling me say now no your ICT personnel. You understand? Serious. Because how can economics became an this thing a digitalization something?
Yes.
I can't even understand the whole thing. Once you don't know how the thing started. But we know when mobile money started. We know how we started connecting our mobile money with the bank this thing. We know when those things started. Unless almost starting business and saying I no be home. Into me there me bomb say Mahama 24-hour economic ni beba. But no bank kwana so anye bibia bim no otimi scan o ma befa ni nyina na say nyoma no ma betoto no otimi gisi won kwa no kwampo mepe.
Wow.
Because countries are developing none of them and 8 hours this thing or BIA 24 hour.
Yeah.
So why someone is bringing those things? No, be this Europe countries, no sign catch me so on say why? Me na me mechanic na mean to kwankwa broche and me to side the way I say. But Europe no so want to say what do you want to tell me?
Wow.
Anka yeah experience be and yeah say can. Like Malik me ka be natural. Me yeah adwuma sisi me pon is that me kwa adwuma bia me pon 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Because se menya partner I feel se me yeah adwuma na wo ni nyina se na be ya menya adwuma foforo no dada ne be me ye we because what be park o car be to say week na menya o part na afa mintimi nya adwuma no menya bibia o mintimi nya adwuma because adwuma na wo ne dawson.
Okay.
Ubube fumi umfa wa adwuma mbre me biem.
Yeah.
Nti o de me di besi an obi nto asobai ye nyina ye campaign.
Yes.
Bompa ese mahama ebenya a city in this time around. Why? No minor koso.
Honest man, Yamishra, why? Yamishra.
Amen.
Yamishra, pa. Samiba coming. Samiba.
And go for no, ya no for this semi network in and Grace Quay, and Samsiwa, and a gem by a more outside to wait my picture or no my
okay.
And let me say this particular NPP government.
Yes.
When him say many youth no, and let me prove you why need a dadgini bia for youth no either President Akufo-Addo or Bawumia. No wonder say President Akufo-Addo be president. The ministers 122 no ye womuni nano. 90% of them were above 60 years and 65 years. You can go and make your research. President Akufo-Addo minister or trade minister Katie Hammond catcher said the youth in this country we are lazy. We don't want them pay juma ye ni ya say ajumu nawa. Regional Minister of Ashanti Region, Seymour Semensa Kacha said, so we are using now for the country no more than anti-mint and as untimid the Konakotongo. No one that's a youth in afforestation, 4,000 youth and forms of Munko. Youth not enough for 2 years here in Mokada. Some look as a national service personnel or more years for the past 9 months. I come 3 months no more.
Now some okay no boy to answer na aton. Na ni sika ya to answer na aton.
That's all to answer na wabeton. So capital then na go for cocaine no ba. So that happen for when Juni babunu bia ho. So we youth na we be na chias. Obi ti say mo se mensa oyeti bonkoso. Excuse my word. Incompetence ni bonkoso.
Koso no fire. Koso.
Yes, omu ni bibia for the youth. They omu nwene wo ho. NSS 9 months almost salary mother allowance 600 cedis per month my NSS and mother for past 9 months. A little girl in Techima and Nebisa Bawumia said what nursing training for 3 years. Name 50 one of Malik name 50 for Bawumia 3 winner.
Yeah, the handkerchief
no man handkerchiefs doesn't. Not me the pepani for 3 years. Ube catch akola ne say ye be man alawa for 3 years wa go school we man alawa. Backlog nurses from 2020 to 2024. Backlog ni na da fugo. 5 batches. You post wo I got 2 to 3 months to election. Ube catch wo say ube be post 15,000 nurses. It tells you that you are insulting the intelligence of the youth. Who need and it's what who be the my youth no. Who be asiafo. NAPCO 100,000 NAPCO trainees. Omo ye adwuma we 2020 when timi am farewell message impo wo saki wo mu ina so mu konko tena fie just like that e be pay kam 1 year be dey kam 7 months e be dey kam and people like Chini am na nam ho mo na giskani di
and
Gabi who the £5 million as Siphony state funds the UK my UK buy CZs cano and you guys think you can be just walking freely. And nothing I'm saying for to me, it's just because money I'm wedding you know, sir. President Mama will not come and sit down and look at this lot and how you mesmerize the country. President Mama Babontin the catcher will say, look, move for some corrupt. Any journalist in Ghana, come to my house. I will give you my bank statement. I will give you my truth. Go to this and this and this bank and hold on save you. If you think any money is in my account that doesn't belong to me, and I say if I expose me. None of these persons were able to try the test. But the special prosecutors should investigate Bawumia for 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
No investigating Bawumia, the opposite in Guasiana.
3 seconds. Honorable Malik, just 3 seconds. Yeah, investigated. Who say, who Cremonin, what catch a Christo, this on Quaji Mumbre and Quachan Sala. Christo, or the Salamu, Sala or the Salamu, it tells you how corrupt Baumia is, how clueless is. Baumia he is now using the 7 years experience in government to study the economy. And the time oil lectures in 2016, I didn't know study economy in way. It tells you how damn Baumia is. Baumia didn't move down the house. Baumia knew him. Baumia said they knew a memo who she was just brought there to use him by the Achin Cabal and the Achin Mafias. And they have successfully used his intelligence. No one is said, oh, Chan, no, Kono, no, offbeat dancing. Now the deputy is so you fire me, you won't free so. Hold you fire. Oko, who are you free so?
Senior Malik, good evening, and
good evening, my brother. How are you?
To greet everybody on this very platform.
So let me
begin by saying that
436,000 people love liked the program. Thank you very much. 436,000. Thank you very much. We salute you. Okay, let's go on.
Sina, thank you very much once again. I want to begin by thanking you because we have had so many communicators, national, regional. Myself, I'm a deputy constituency communication officer, but then I can tell you as a matter of fact that you are directly, indirectly changing the face of communication as far as the NDC and Ghana at large is concerned. That is to you. Now, secondly, I work more with the branch executives. When you come to Tema East constituency, I have 10 wards, I have 146 branch.
Thank you. Oko, Yanum. NPP have started their things again. Okay, now Dole, can you hear me? So that
I
work on his network.
Fast.
Okay, so
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Oko is back. Now, hold on. Oko is back. We have
can you hear me now?
We have fought the spirits. Let's go on.
So what I'm saying is that all of us must come on board, despite where we find ourselves. In fact, for the past 1 week now, I've been in Oti region, Biakuye constituency to be precise. Yeah. Though I am there for a different assignment. But every morning when I'm done, I wear my GM shirts. I go out when I meet people, I talk to them. So we must all be evangelists as far as John Dramani Mahama, Professor Ginano Pukajima, and NDC is concerned. Now, one thing I want somebody, all those listening to me, one thing I want us to know is that the NDC is the only political party that thinks about the youth. Mm-hmm. Recently, when we launched our youth manifesto, look at the way youths were given opportunity to explore. Yeah. Watching Karen, watching Julius, watching. In fact, personally, I felt proud, and I was like, okay, some few years to come, I want to see myself in that very circle. So the NDC is the only political party that will inspire you to do your best. Now, last but not the least, anywhere you see anybody comparing NDC to the NPP, give them facts and figures. Don't just be comparing the colors. No. Yeah. Compare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and then compare His Excellency Nana Redonko Akufo-Addo. Yeah. Compare the vice presidents, compare the ministers, those who are amassing wealth for themselves now, and what we did in our administration.
That's right.
I am currently having a network challenge, so I'll leave it here for others to contribute as well. But I'm telling you as a matter of fact that come December 7th,
I've seen the comment section. I've seen people say, Malik, please pick my call. Malik, please pick my call. I will. We have from now till 8 o'clock. We have 30 minutes more. And I mean, if you want us to continue this every week, every Saturday at this time, let me see in the comment section. Let me see you support it so that we can do this every week. We interact with TikTokers. I take your opinions. I mean, I write them down and I present them to President Mahama. If you think we should do this every week, let me see in the comment section. If it's encouraging, I think I could always make time. If I go to the grounds and work and all of that, I would always come back and speak to you at least a little bit so we could engage. Best life, can you hear me?
Eyezu.
It's okay now. Let's listen to now first. Now.
Eyezu.
Now let's speak.
I want Ghanaians to know that this free SHS has been there for a long time, in Atamo's time.
That's right.
I was a beneficiary. I attended Awudome Senior High School in the year 2012 to 2015. I enjoyed free SHS. The only thing I paid for was utilities. I never paid a dime. So this NPP are crook. They are liars. No youth should listen to them. We are using the Formula 1 way. I know His Excellency can do it. He has done it before and he will do it again. We are truth. We are faithful. We are truthful. When we say it, we do it.
That's right.
President Mahama came to Bukom Boxing Arena.
That's right.
That was on Monday. I was the second lady that asked him a question about the security services.
Fantastic.
Asking him concerning how he would push more energy into that concerning those who will not have qualifications but still have the manpower, because there are people who don't have qualifications, but when you take them to the field in terms of demonstration and all those things, they are active. I asked him, how are you going to support those people? They have the manpower to do the work, they don't have the qualification. In my opinion, President, I want you to push my people. I want you to push those in the coastal areas because they have the energy, they have the zeal, they have the passion for the job. And then he told me, don't worry, we are going to do it. We will let them learn small skills and then push them into that security sector so that they will have handy jobs even though they are in the security sector, so that when it comes to the battlefield, they can be pushed forward. And I know His Excellency Dramani Mahama can do it. He has done it before.
Thank you very much,
he is very good. Everybody should vote. I said, as the youth, we will not leave the polling station till the last ballot box is counted, till the last ballot paper is counted. I am from Ablekuma South constituency, Honorable Alfredo Kovandapo's constituency. I know what Mahama has done in my constituency. Schools are there, but NPP has decided not to finish the schools at Sempe cluster of schools. Under the watch of Mahama, Atamos, and Honorable Alfredo Kovandapo, the shift system stopped. I know what the NDC can do. I can testify to it. Baumia should go and sleep. We have more people to debate Baumia. If he likes, he should come to the youth. He shouldn't even come to you people in power. He should come to the youth.
It's Nadole, the latest person to take the challenge of debate. Thank you very much.
Yes, I will debate him concerning infrastructure. He should come to me. Yes.
Then you defeat him. He doesn't know anything about infrastructure.
He doesn't know anything. I'll give him instance. I'll give him facts. I am learning your footsteps, and I am learning Sami Jemfi's footsteps. I talk with facts. If I don't have the evidence, I won't talk.
Thank you.
Thank you for always being behind the youth.
Betty Love, can you hear me?
Eyezu, Malik. Hey, ya pe wache NPP for no guase e bleedi. E bi di hwe mobile learning na kinko na kasawa ha one man commando.
That's right.
We got super from ya be chichiro ni asio easy. Malik, you do all. Why you
go to jail? You go to jail.
Don't worry, Malik once said
you go to jail when we come to now. You are the first people because we don't know what is under your bed.
You don't know what's under your bed.
Now let me talk. Now I finish. Let me talk my time. Hey, Malik, you do all, but there is one person, one single person. Me person woman two shots. There be two shots, one shot. Who the man no ban say? No, I yell our media, no, so nipa back up. And yes, I would debate because I know you can kill. No, you have already killed their King Kong. King Kong, Nakasakra, what man rest in peace. Nyo dear Chino Krawa man go home and die. Basa kwa we wa home. Me pesi ya kana nutumu kitsuebi. Akwana or bas or konechina or kasan kisyon kwande woni nuno. Sa kwano, uni makwano, chema wun to me. Sa kwano. Meaning so two spirits cry no chane. But the thing is, what we say, what we are doing on this media, no, we have tried a lot. But that particular guy, no, you don't need to go to the radio station with him or meeting him personal. No, just throw two bombs like this, bam. From any so that here you good TikTok no TikTok in cons no here to me so when you someone no so akwechire you be a silence sa kwano because you also oswa but you the never share baby I say you the share on person be buade afensu wia Malik
You see, my shout out to all the NDC members. Our TikTok is we are doing a great job. We are doing a great job. NPP for mumpo. Ya catch them. Where your first badge, second badge. Yes. Pressure this
That's
time
right.
around. There is nothing NPP can do.
That's right.
With this our TikTok radio station koda TikTok can say TV station koda because we are going to give it to you guys front and back. Our TikTok
right.
is with our small data. Malik, God bless you.
Thank
and we
you,
love you for your support. Say you can't say here no. God bless you. We take your back for anywhere you go.
Thank you, Betty.
Malik, yes. Please, 1 second. Just a second, please.
All right,
please. I beg you. I need you in my constituency.
Where is that?
I think some of Ablekuma South, Mamprobi, and Honorable Alfredo Kovandapo is
yes,
former mayor. Please.